scored in Madrid in the semi-final when he really meant it against Iron Robin. He's playing games.
October 2006, a gray afternoon in English football. No thunder, no warning, just silence waiting to break. Stamford Bridge was calm, almost routine. Chelsea were champions, untouchable. And standing in goal was a man who felt invincible, not because he was loud, not because he demanded attention, but because nothing ever got past him. Then the whistle blew. 15 seconds. That's all it took. A harmless ball rolled forward. No pressure, no chaos. The kind of moment goalkeepers process without thinking. Petr Čech stepped out, just as he always had. Calm, composed, fearless. And then everything ended. Stephen Hunt didn't slow down, didn't hesitate, didn't pull away. The sound came first. A crack, sharp, violent, unnatural. The stadium froze. Čech collapsed, tried to rise, fell again. Stillness replaced noise. Panic replaced football. Teammates waved, referees screamed, medical staff sprinted. The crowd didn't cheer, didn't boo. They watched a man disappear. By the time the ambulance doors closed, nobody knew if the best goalkeeper in the world would ever open his eyes again. At Royal Berkshire Hospital, doctors worked in silence. Scans revealed the truth no one wanted to say out loud. A depressed skull fracture, bone pressing against brain tissue. 1 inch closer and the story would have ended on the pitch. Emergency surgery followed. Surgeons drilled into his skull, inserted a metal plate, rebuilt what was shattered. When Čech woke up, he couldn't speak, couldn't move properly, couldn't remember the match. Doctors asked the same question every day. Do you know what happened? Every day, the answer was the same. No. He remembered leaving the dressing room. Nothing after. Football had disappeared from his memory. And for a moment, it nearly disappeared from his life. What makes the injury cruel is when it happened. Because before that afternoon, Petr Čech wasn't just good. He was untouchable. In his debut Premier League season, he kept 24 clean sheets, a record that still stands. Chelsea conceded just 15 goals across an entire campaign. 50 years of waiting ended with a title built into the new season. Čech had conceded 3 goals. And then 15 seconds erased certainty. But to understand why his return mattered, you have to understand where he came from. Petr Čech wasn't born to be a goalkeeper. He was born in Plzeň, Czech Republic, a place where dreams usually ended early, where football wasn't a promise, it was an escape. As a kid, he wanted to score goals, run forward, celebrate. Then fate intervened, twice. 2 broken legs, 2 warnings. Doctors told him his outfield career was over before it began, so he moved backward into goal. Not because he wanted to, because he had no choice. Later, he would say, I stayed in goal because it was the only option left. That option changed everything. At 17, he became the youngest starting goalkeeper in Czech League history. At Sparta, Prague, then Rennes, records followed him. Clean sheets stacked up. Coaches whispered the same thing everywhere he went. He sees danger before it exists. At 19, he carried the Czech U21s to a European final. Saved 3 penalties in a shootout against France. Player of the tournament? That wasn't luck. That was inevitability. In 2004, Chelsea paid £7 million for him, the most expensive goalkeeper in their history. He repaid it instantly. For 2 seasons, he turned goalkeeping into routine excellence. No chaos, no drama, just certainty. Fans didn't cheer saves anymore. They expected them. By summer 2006, he wasn't a player. He was reassurance. And then destiny waited 15 seconds. 10 days after surgery, he went home. Scarred, stitched, alive. He thought the worst was over. It wasn't. Doctors were blunt. 1 wrong dive could kill you. For a goalkeeper, that sentence is a death sentence. Diving isn't optional. It's instinct. Fear crept in. Not fear of injury, fear of identity. If you can't dive, who are you? But quitting never crossed his mind. 3 months later, he told doctors he was ready. They begged him to wait. Another impact could cause brain swelling. It could end everything. His response was simple: "Don't tell me what I can't do, tell me what I can." January 2007, Čech returned. But something was different. A black protective helmet wrapped around his head. Heavy, restrictive, alien. It would become iconic. At first, it felt like a warning. He couldn't hear properly, couldn't feel wind, couldn't forget what lay beneath the padding. Teammates hesitated. Opponents stared. Every fall felt louder. Training became psychological warfare. No reckless dives, no blind reactions.
Parade himself after he out. Penalty got them the win against Blackburn last time out. 3-2 they won. Oh, and a chance here and a goal. There's a lot
This is what it
50-50s,
means.
Tommy.
This is Chelsea Spurs, as you rightly
I
said.
always think, how come there's suddenly always a 50-50 after a flashpoint? It's because people are closing down more, that's why. So
6'4", and I'm not having none of this.
George, 11. How can you do that? How can you do that? Don't be confused.
Doctors redesigned his drills, balance over bravery, positioning over reflex, mind over muscle. And slowly, painfully, he realized something. If he couldn't react faster than shots he had to be ready before they were taken. Before the injury, Čech was instinct. After it, instinct became dangerous. So he became analytical. He lived in video rooms, studied strikers instead of himself, knee angles, shoulder lean, weight distribution. Goalkeeping became geometry. He stopped chasing the ball. He waited for it. Doctors said he'd never be the same. They were right. He became better. January 2007. Chelsea versus Liverpool. The applause was warm, respectful, emotional. 10 minutes in, a deflected shot rolled past him. Goal. Chelsea lost 2-0. To fans, it was just football. To Čech, it confirmed his darkest thought. Fear had returned. Mourinho admitted later, it wasn't weakness, it was hesitation. Fear doesn't belong in goal. So, Čech confronted it. He obsessed, studied every error, visualized games before they happened, controlled thoughts, angles, breathing. From the next match onward, something changed. 810 minutes without conceding. 9 matches, silence. He won Premier League Player of the Month, the first goalkeeper in 7 years. Despite missing months, he finished with the league's best clean sheet ratio. This wasn't recovery, it was transformation. Champions League final, Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. Bayern dominated, 43 shots. Čech saved nearly everything. Then penalties. Mario Gomez later revealed something chilling. Čech told me I changed my mind. He was right. Čech wasn't reacting anymore. He was reading souls. Chelsea lifted their first Champions League trophy. Redemption wasn't loud. It was inevitable. From 2004 to 2015, Petr Čech built history. 228 clean sheets for Chelsea. 162 inches the Premier League alone. A record no one touched. At Arsenal, they said he was finished. He answered with 54 more. 202 Premier League clean sheets. Still standing. 4 league titles, 5 FA Cups, a Champions League, a Europa League, 7-time Czech Footballer of the Year, most capped player in his nation's history. But his greatest impact came from a moment that nearly killed him. That collision forced football to evolve. Medical protocols changed. Ambulance access improved. Concussion awareness became mandatory. Goalkeeper safety wasn't optional anymore. Čech didn't just survive, he forced the game to protect others. When he retired, he didn't disappear. He advised, coached, mentored. Young keepers listened differently when he spoke because he wasn't teaching saves. He was teaching survival. Helmet designs improved with his input. Concussion protocols used his case as reference. From patient to pioneer, Petr Čech didn't prove fear can be ignored. He proved it can be understood. That limitation doesn't end greatness. It defines it. He returned with a metal plate in his skull and rewrote goalkeeping forever. Not by being fearless, but by standing tall with fear beside him. And that's why his story will never fade.